It's getting kind of annoying dealing with the robots at work. They always keep freaking messing up on us and causing downtime.
Then we get yelled at for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, hey, don't use that robot. But the thing is, it is a OSHA recordable if you don't lock that shit out, but they want you to keep on moving.
Yeah. But I mean, everything's kind of moving towards automation, whether it be in a factory workplace or even like restaurants or like online and business related stuff, going to AI and AI art and AI stuff, all types of automation. Hell, even transportation's automation.
Yeah. Look at San Francisco. They got those well, that's not automation. Those are like running on electric, isn't it? Those buses.
I mean, do they drive themselves?
They do drive. Yeah, they drive themselves.
Then it's automation.
Oh, okay.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
I'm CRollur.
And I'm Willy.
And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about automations and their effects on our jobs.
I wanted to start it out with, I went to McDonald's here around where I live at, and I noticed that I don't go inside to eat anymore, but like I decided to go in, because I thought it would be easier just to get my food, like going inside, because the line was really long for the cars, ordering their food or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I ain't one of them. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna get my food. And guess what? I noticed that they have kiosks now.
They've had that at some restaurants, mostly for like theme parks and shit, but they've had that like for a while.
I never seen it because I don't go inside. I just go to the drive-through.
It's interesting that you don't have to have a server, or well, I shouldn't say a server, but a cashier to take your order anymore.
I worked at McDonald's.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah, I worked at McDonald's.
How many jobs does that eliminate with the kiosk?
The kiosk eliminates probably one or two.
Okay,
but
it makes the workers more efficient on getting the food done.
I mean, the only jobs it really takes over is people taking your order. But there are a lot of other jobs that can be easily automated. As I was working there, and I was working there back 2008, even I noticed that the jobs could be automated. I mean, they had already had like these containers that you press down the levers for ketchup and mustard, and they put out a pre-designated amount. How hard would it be to turn that into a machine? Or easily. Like the mayo, tartar sauce, and Big Mac sauce were more like caulk guns with the exact same mechanic. They just clicked more.
You just hit a button and there you go, right?
The hardest part about automating it is probably flipping burgers, because it's hard to flip burgers. But there is actually a machine out there. White Castle's implementing it in some of their places. It's the Miso Flippy 2, and it literally will flip the burger for them. But I think Burger King has got this covered already to make it way easier. Their flame broiled burgers.
Oh yeah, I was actually about to say that.
They just roll it through a conveyor. How hard would it be to roll burgers through a conveyor? Like, that's already automation. But yeah, like all that stuff can be done. And this Flippy 2 thing, they've actually given it an arm to take those baskets that they fry stuff in and dunk it down in the fryer and pick it back up when it's done. So pretty much every job that's done there, aside from washing dishes, has already been automated. And even then, how hard is it to get a dishwasher? I think then you just have one person cleaning the restaurant.
I kind of want to throw you in a curve right here. What if Walmart decided to do the automated stuff, or people doing their grocery pickups?
I've already seen some of the stuff. First of all, you have self-checkout. You don't need cashiers at all.
Yep.
The only reason they have
that's automated, right?
Pretty much. The only thing that isn't automated is when you require assistance for when it thinks you bagged multiple items.
Or is like a produce that doesn't ring up.
Yeah. Well, actually, produce is easy. They've actually made that. They've made that. I shouldn't say it's easy, but you can do that by yourself. You actually have to go in and tap produce and then select the item you want.
And they have a camera staring right at you. So if you rip them off, then they're going to go after you.
But I've had many times where that thing has told me that I was missing an item. And I think what happened was, there are two things I think happened. One is I grabbed two items at once. I scanned one, had one in my left hand, and it thought that I grabbed both items in my right. And then the other time I think that it does this is when you scan an item, or you try to scan an item, it doesn't scan, but you don't notice, and you just throw it in your bag. Like, I put it over the scanner, That's not my fault that the scanner didn't work. Like, it's not like I'm just not like, if you see me putting an item past the scanner on the camera, you can clearly see that I did scan it.
Yeah, I think we got me and my wife got red flagged one time because we were trying to scan things like really quick, and we had like a bunch of like box stuffing, right? So she scanned it, but then she went like this. Then it instantly sounded an alarm, thinking that we were stealing, packages.
Yeah.
Then we had to get associate and wait like 10 minutes for the associate to reset
Yeah,
it.
they're supposed to be right there, but they're never are.
No, they're not, never. But we were talking about earlier before we started the podcast about how AI will, take over jobs with people with their bachelor's degree and master's degrees. The reason why I wanted to point that out is because like people with accounting degrees, they can use AI to figure out people's taxes.
Oh yeah, I imagine that's a thing coming. But I did want to get back on track with this thing with Walmart. The self-checkout isn't the only thing. They actually have a robot that goes around and counts the items for inventory.
No shit.
Yeah, it scans every aisle and then updates their inventory system.
That quick, huh?
I don't know if it's quick. It's pretty fucking slow.
Well, that's probably why they're not open at night anymore, like late at night, so they have time to like check their inventory.
I can't say it's accurate either because there's a lot of stuff that's out a lot of times.
It's an estimate.
But I have seen it. It's literally just a thing that scans the aisle and just goes down the aisle very slowly.
So there are no more hand scanners.
I think there still are, but there's not. They're phasing them out, I believe.
Gotcha. What else with automated stuff going on today? Do you have anything?
I mean, I got lots of things, but if you want to talk about the service industry, there's a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah, automated. You can call the IRS. You're talking to a freaking voice, like a robot.
Telecommunication automation has been a thing for a long time. That is even AI. That is just, I mean,
it's still automated.
Yeah.
Yeah, because actually, I was trying to
press 1 for this option. Press 2 for this option.
I was trying to pay my mortgage yesterday, and I wanted to talk to a representative, but they kept being like, keep shifting me to, different.
They have updated the technology though. I gave the example of press 1 and press 2, but now the system's actually
voice.
Yeah, you can actually please voice what your concern is, and I'd be like, my credit card got declined. And okay, this is a different story, off topic, but
all right, let's hear it.
Walgreens screwed me over on this one. I gave them my card. They said this card won't work. I looked at my phone. My phone says you just paid $14 for this thing, and then I check it and it's like $14 added to my credit card, $14 taken away. So I called my credit card company. It's like, it's not on our end. Your card did not get declined. It's on their end. So Walgreens screwed me over on that one. I had to use a different card with no rewards because their credit card thing rejected my card.
So how to fix that?
I don't know. I mean, theoretically, I'm supposed to tell Walgreens their card machine's a piece of crap. I mean, that's the only thing I can tell. Yeah. I called my credit card company. They're like, there's nothing wrong with your card. It didn't get declined. It went through, and then it got rejected on their end, and we refunded your amount.
Yeah, it happened to me with Scentbird because with Scentbird, I do like a.
But yeah, that's the most recent one is where I had to. I'm like, credit card got declined, and I had to keep saying it. They're like, the automation's like, we see no transactions that got declined. I'm like,
what the fuck is going on then?
I need to talk to a representative then because I need to know what's going on.
Because I dealt with that before, and like I said, I ordered cologne from Scentbird, and I had that same problem, and then I was trying to get a hold of someone, and it'd be like, oh, how about I assist you instead? Automated one.
Yeah, usually my goal is to get around those automated phone systems.
I try
because usually any reason, if I have to call a company, it's never to do anything that the automated system's set up to do. I'm not there to pay a bill. I do that online. I'm not there to change my account stuff. I can do that online.
I found a way.
Like usually if I'm calling, it's because something is wrong. And you have to get a hold of a customer service rep.
I found a way around it.
Press 0 or make nonsense noise?
No, I just keep I just keep saying customer service, customer service, customer service, and then
Press zero used to be the thing. It used to be zero,
Yeah.
zero, 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 zero.
No, I usually just say customer service, and like, oh, you want to speak to a representative? Maybe I can help you instead. I'm like, customer service.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to talk about for like automation in retail and stuff?
Websites.
Oh, websites. Yeah, like I see a lot of these things like Wix and Squarespace are out there which automate the website design. I mean, I've used programs and you had to like place things in like Dreamweaver and other programs. I even used to use HTML back in the day to.
Oh, that's old as shit.
Yeah, and HTML, CSS coding, and JavaScript and all that stuff behind the scenes without even ever using a GUI, graphic user interface. But then I moved on to Dreamweaver, which is a program which it's a slight automation, but you still tell it, okay, I want a text box here, I want an image here. These new websites create the entire website for you based on a layout and information you input.
No, I think you got the wrong idea what I was talking about, because I was wanting to talk about when I need help with something on a website, I had to talk to an AI bot.
Oh, yeah. The chat bots?
Yeah.
They're just like the telecommunications people.
Yeah. And like every time like I talk to them, they don't even know what the fuck, is going on.
Well, they're set to do the exact same thing the phone calls are. So you have to get a hold of a customer service rep in order to get anything actually done.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, what's the number for that,
Well, even then, okay, you get the chat. I have found that you can get a hold of a service rep through that chat, but it's pointless to go from the chat to the phone because you're going to deal with the same shit just on the phone.
So no matter what, you don't win.
So choose one or the other and go with that.
Yeah, because there's many times like even like my school website, like I'm just like asking questions what I can do, and it would be like a freaking thing like, oh, you might have to contact a representative. I'm like, I'm trying to. It's like, maybe I can direct you to that person.
Yeah, I like when they actually will give you the rep, but a lot of times, yeah, they send you to the phone service, which means you should have called there to begin with.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit.
But I get like, okay, like for Spectrum, I'll be like, I have like slow internet or no internet. They're like, we don't see it. We don't see it out.
Right? Website, right?
Yeah. Okay. And it prints back a thing that says, we don't see an outage in your area. I'm like, well, I don't have internet. I'm on my phone chatting with you through data because my Wi-Fi is out.
I don't have internet, motherfuckers.
Usually it does one of two things. It either tries to reset my router / modem.
Why don't you just unplug it?
I have found you might as well just do that if that's the solution. The other one is they usually send somebody out to fix it. But I have to end up getting a hold of somebody, which means I end up having to call them.
Yeah, and that'd be like, what, like 2 or 3 days before they even come out? Yeah, so like, I don't know. I don't like those like chat. Me personally, I like talking to someone over the phone like a real person, not doing the chat.
Personally, I wish I could do like the opposite, but a lot of companies want you to do the phone for anything that needs to be dealt with.
But I want to talk to a real person, not, automated services.
Yeah, but my point is I would rather chat with somebody online versus talk to somebody on the phone. 2 reasons. First of all, 90% of all US companies hire out to other countries, and I have a hard time understanding their accent.
Yeah.
It is extremely thick in whatever country they are from, which makes it hard for me to understand.
I got you.
And if I'm chatting to somebody online, even if they're using broken English, I can still understand it because I can read it.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point because I have talked to like customer service from like India, Korea.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with people from other countries and their accents. I just can't understand it. And it sucks because I'm like, can you repeat that? Can you repeat that? Yeah, I didn't get that. Can you repeat that? I'm like trying to get like, could you speak slower so that I am having a hard time understanding you.
I mean, and like there, nothing wrong with their accent. It's just it'll probably be better to understand them if it wasn't over the phone either.
Oh yeah, phones have a low quality
Yeah,
to begin with.
yeah, it would actually help. You know, like let's
You
say
ever
that
listen?
person.
You ever listen to the elevator music on the phone? That hold music.
I love the elevator music. I dance every time I hear that.
Yeah, well, if you listen to it, you can hear sometimes where it just goes a little wonky because of the phone connection.
Well, I mean, you're doing a line from like here to India. It's an intercontinental.
I think we should switch off to like we're talking about like our jobs and well, not necessarily our jobs in particular, but just factory jobs.
Well, factory jobs. All right. So when I first started at the job I work at now, we used to have tugger. Well, we still do, but we had tugger drivers, right?
We have less of them
Because they brought these automated tuggers. I'm not going to say their name because I don't want it.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say what company it is or what it is.
They run off of some kind of
They run on GPS.
I said they run off of some type of grid system that they have programmed. I can tell you, they lose track of that so often.
Yeah, because
there's a lot of times they just stop out of nowhere.
It runs on Wi-Fi and GPS. If the Wi-Fi just cut out just for like a tenth of a second, it throws everything off. Because you got a bunch of people, log into their Wi-Fi.
That explains why it happens more often on break.
Yeah, everyone's logging into the Wi-Fi and it cuts out, the signal to the thing for just like a tenth of a second, and it throws off all these automated tuggers. And I don't want to say the name, but they suck. And the company spent like millions and millions and millions of dollars just to eliminate jobs for the tugger drivers.
There is one automated transportation robot in the plant that I think it works pretty damn well, but they rely on a different system. They're in a different part of the plant than us. They actually follow a line across the floor.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty good and reliable. I've never seen them stall out like that.
No, but they'll run your ass over.
I've never tried it. The ones you're talking about, actually like stop and stuff, and
yeah, they will stop.
Like
if you walk in front, it has sensors where if something's like within a foot and a half interval, it'll stop immediately, and anything behind it will stop because that one stopped because it's a foot and a half. But the ones that you're talking about on the other side of the plant, that thing will run you over.
I've never had that experience. Never want to.
You cannot walk in front of them thinking that you can beat it because even though they drive slow, they're not stopping. In a way, it was a great idea, but it did cost a lot of people that had their tugger license to drive and stuff, but they
I saw like when I started working there were a lot of those jobs that were just gone within a couple months.
I was there before you. Man.
They're trying to do that with other ones. There was like a robot that worked to put a piece of cardboard under the units that we make for shipping.
That failed.
Yeah. It kept stopping. It was designed to stop if somebody was there, and it stopped all the time rather than just if somebody was in the way.
The technology wasn't there yet for it.
I think the technology is there. I just think
they were being too cheap about it.
That's what I think, because I've seen some robots that can do exactly what it did flawlessly.
When you're running something like that with air.
Oh, it was running on air?
Yeah, it was running on air. It's not going to work with, constant motion like that.
That might be pneumatics versus hydraulics.
Yeah, it should have been hydraulics.
I feel like we're an industrial application. I think air-powered stuff is probably the thing that fails the most in our plant.
It does.
Because our racks run on pneumatics.
Well, the thing is, though, too, a lot of people don't know a lot about hydraulics. That's why they use air. Hydraulics is a high-pressure or low-pressure liquid. The higher the pressure, the quicker it'll go. But the problem is with hydraulics, people don't know how to adjust it where it should be.
I want to talk about, we have a frustrating thing in our area where they have parts that go into these racks, and there's machines that pick up the part and bring it to you. And these things fail all the freaking time.
Yeah, because they're not adjusted right, because those are hydraulics.
No, they're not. They're pneumatic.
Are you serious? They use them robots? Should be hydraulics.
Did you not notice that there's a ton of airlines hooked to them?
I don't look at that shit because I don't care.
You should have at least heard when one of the lines exploded a few months ago.
Yeah.
Just so annoying.
Yeah, see, it's cheaper to use air than hydraulics, apparently.
But I'll tell you one robot that I think I've only seen it fail once, and it's a robot that like flips over the tub. It takes this big heavy tub, flips it over, which takes... This is one where I don't mind it taking a job away because the job would be painstaking.
And also is a safety hazard too.
Because, I mean, you're trying to lift a heavy thing up and flip it over, and doing that repetitively would break your back.
It would.
Having a robot do that is a good thing.
Like 50 pounds is not really that... Well, it's probably over 50 pounds. It's probably like...
I'll put it to you this way. When they move it off of that conveyor to another conveyor, they use cranes. Mini cranes, but cranes nonetheless.
Are those running on hydraulics or is that air?
I don't know. I don't work that area.
Yeah, I seen that. I was walking over there.
To get away from our particular work, I have seen some other automation that it's pretty cool, but it's clearly eliminated some jobs. Like I was watching these
Lawnmower
videos.
service.
What?
Lawnmower service.
Not what I was referring to. I was going to go with chains. Like people that make chains. Like it basically pulls this entire length of like metal cord, and like bends them around each other, and then it takes that link, turns it, and it takes this other one, bends it in, turns it, and it takes another link, bends it in, turns it. Like it just keeps on going. And then in the next section, they weld the pieces together automatically. They also
I actually like that.
That one is fully automatic from taking it off the coil to the chain being done is fully automatic.
It's quicker to make it doing that way.
It is, but it also eliminates people's jobs.
It does, but you can't stop that.
Yeah, it's eventually coming.
Yeah.
But another one I wanted to highlight that I saw was a cookie cutter one.
The quicker you make the parts, the cheaper it will be.
Yes, but also the less people.
Yeah, look at the consumer point of view too.
Yeah, well, if you look at consumers, you're lowering your consumer base by not paying people.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
yeah.
Eventually, and this is way off in the future, eventually there will be no jobs.
It'll be like Wall-E. I talk about Wall-E all the time. Like this is like the 6th time I even said that.
I want to go back to this cookie cutter. They take this piece of metal I don't know where the piece of metal was, like it's a flat sheet, and then it's like, I don't know, tigged or welded together at one end. They just put it in, and then this thing just presses all the sides in to make the cookie cutter.
Oh, no shit.
The only thing the person does...
But they had to put the bracket in,
the
right?
The only thing the person does is take the piece of metal, put it in, and then they let the machine do it, and then they take it out.
So it's a press machine, basically.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
So, like, those are two types of automation for, like, robots and shit. Is fully automated and then partially automated.
I like that.
I want to talk about something that's kind of happened. I don't know. There are a couple examples of it, or at least attempts of it. Lights out manufacturing, which is...
What is that?
Lights out manufacturing is when a plant operates with no human interaction.
How's that work?
Like the raw products go in, the machines do all the work, and then the finished product comes out.
And there's places that do that, factories that do that.
One of the most notable ones is in Japan, but there's also some that attempted to do it, like Cleveland engineering plant. They still have employees, but they went from 100 some down to like there's just a handful.
Is that packaging or is that actual like?
They made engines.
Oh shit!
Cast iron engines.
Oh shit! But
now they ship them out from Mexico, but back in the day they had a bunch of them that were made in Cleveland, and it was Ford's first attempt at major automation. It was as close as Ford ever got to lights out manufacturing, because they went from hundreds of people working in factories to just a handful. Basically, most of it was the people putting the product in, and then the machines would hand it off from machine to machine as it processed it. So, and then people would take it from the end.
They take a lot of jobs away from the operators.
Yeah.
So the only best bet, if you want to still work there, you might want to go out and get your maintenance thing. because they
maintenance.
always
Yeah, I think maintenance and
electrical.
maintenance, engineering, like, electrical. But I also think that like programming and stuff is going to be big in the future
It will.
because people are going to have to program these machines until we get the official
Machines
AI.
always break down. You know that because when you're doing constant motion with it, it's wear and tear on the metal.
Yeah, until
steel.
we get official AI, people are going to have to do the programming because what we call AI now
Is that what you want to do? Is programming?
I don't know. I feel like I'm going to retire before a lot of this happens.
No, I think it's going to happen within like the next 10 years.
Hopefully, I can hold on to something. If I have to, I'll go into like electrical or.
I mean, you can't just walk up to that
mechanic.
robot and just be like, "All right, I'm going to give you a web design."
No, but programming is part of web design. It's just a different. It's just a different. Just a different version of programming.
You think people are getting lazier every day? Relying on.
I don't think people are 100% getting lazier, but I think using technology could cause laziness.
Yeah, because they have like all this stuff out there, where like the thing would do it for you, right?
I don't feel like leaning on technology is necessarily lazy so much as just smart. But I feel like if you're not doing more with your time because you've saved time doing it with technology, then you're lazy.
I just don't want it to be like one day like it's Wall-E, where a bunch of people in the spaceship getting all fat and everything and relying on robots, and artificial intelligence and all that. I don't want that happening.
I see that going two ways. We could go down that path, or we could go down the path of exploration. If we ever get to space exploration, I feel like
we're getting close to it.
I want to talk about another type of automation, which is like in transportation. Like we talked about it in a factory setting.
Yeah.
But think about like self-driving cars.
We talked about that.
That's pretty much automation in a car. Like it automatically knows where it needs to go, where it needs to turn. It knows how to brake, how to go. I mean, even the early ones with just lane assist is automation because you don't have to know if somebody's there. The car will tell you.
The problem with them, one wire goes out, the car ain't running. I don't like them. Those self-automatic driving cars because it's all electrical and all, computers.
They don't necessarily have to be electrical, but it makes sense if you're going to go with an automated.
No, I'm not saying electrical like it runs on electric. I'm saying that the computer runs on electric if one wire goes out on that computer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but that can be said about any car nowadays.
And any sensor that goes out will fuck up the.
There's more computers.
Itself.
There's more computers in a modern day car than there are in my house.
Like, think about your computer that that's sitting on your lap right now. If one thing goes wrong, with the wires, everything goes wrong.
Yeah, but as I said, even cars that aren't automated have that problem. I also don't think that self-driving cars are quite there yet.
No, not at all. No.
The amount of times I've seen self-driving cars confuse a semi-truck with a cloud, it is way too high for it to be safe at the moment.
I think one day that they're going to use that system in like trains. Trains
would be easy.
Why haven't they done that yet?
Probably because there's no real need to. I mean, there's only one person running the train, really.
Well, you got the engineer and you got the conductor. The conductor is looking for signs. The engineer is driving the train. But the problem is...
Can you justify a totally automated train, the cost of a totally automated train,
What if
versus the two people that you just mentioned? How much do you think they're making and how much do you think
they make a lot? They make a lot. But the thing is, if it's a self-running train, if it derails, one car derails, you have people that is there that actually is supposed to walk, 4 miles to look for that thing, find out why it derailed. Then they call the crew. But if you have a self-driving train,
then somebody would have to come out after the fact.
Yeah.
That doesn't really change that. It doesn't it doesn't change much.
It's just I don't know. I don't like the fact that, a lot of these what do they call automated services, whatever automated stuff is taking over jobs. It's going to happen regardless.
Yeah, it is going to happen. And I feel like we are way closer to it happening now than we were when I was 20, and even when I was a child. Like, people have been prophesizing, basically predicting that this was going to happen. And I feel like we are way closer to it now than we have been in a long time.
Back my day, back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, I didn't expect any of this to happen. Like, I thought everything was going to be manual labor and everything. I didn't even know about smartphones. We had flip phones.
Yeah.
Now you got like an automated like freaking Google thing where you say like, "Okay, Google."
Yeah, that's probably a lot of like just the
paranoia.
No, not paranoia. The difference in technology from, like, we had robots and stuff when I was a kid, but the technology we have for programming the robots has increased to the point that I think they could do a lot more than they used to. I would never have thought that that like fast food restaurants could be automated, but as I said, not only do they, like, that and self checkouts, like those two things are a big sign that we're heading to automation, because we're limiting the customer service industry.
Yeah, we are.
Which, I mean, factories have been heading towards automation for a long time, but the customer service industry
is one
that I had never seen coming.
No, I did not expect the fast food restaurants to like push out the stuff like that. It's pretty bad when technology comes out that, like, let's say you have a Fitbit.
Yeah.
You can get a Fitbit, well, not a Fitbit, but like a cheap version for it.
Yeah.
Off of Temu or Wish for like $2.99.
Oh yeah, the price will come down. One of the reasons why it had, like, the automation for the fast food industry hasn't happened is because of how expensive the robots still are for that. Another form of automation that we haven't touched upon.
Oh wait, I want to talk about pharmacists. Pharmacies.
Well, pharmacies don't use automation that much.
No, they have robots that actually, or they use automated systems to make the pills and stuff, and not sorting it out. And sometimes that people do get, the wrong pills in their bottles because robot fucked up.
That has not been my experience. Then again,
it's rare, but it does happen.
Well, I'm not talking about the wrong pills in the bottle. I mean, that's detrimental. But my aunt works for a company that makes that bottles the medicines,
mm-hmm.
and her job is literally to do that sorting and stuff.
What if automated?
So, I mean, if it happens, then again, her job, I believe, mostly fulfills orders for like nursing homes and stuff.
Yeah, that would be shitty if that happened.
It's possible that they leave automation for regular people. But then again, as I said, places like Walgreens, they have people working there and they don't have automation. But then again, where does Walgreens get their medicine? How do they know that their medicine is accurate?
Yeah, I would.
So there may be automation, but I don't know.
Automation is not 100% correct.
No,
and neither is people.
No, but I'm just saying that I've never experienced this, so it's new to me that would be a thing in the pharmaceuticals.
Probably because we're here and not,
I mean, if you have an example of it.
I never had to, but I watched videos about it, and I actually looked at news about people getting the wrong prescriptions.
Okay,
a lot of times.
You've seen some cases of it, though.
Yeah.
Okay, because I completely have never heard of that before.
No,
I always thought it was always done by hand.
Well, they don't take much for a freaking machine to stamp the sticker onto it.
I guess that, yeah. I mean, mild. I figured like the sorting and stuff was left to humans.
It's going to get a lot worse or even better with automation. It just depends. I just don't like it, so I'm going to keep hating on it.
Accuracy is probably the one thing that a lot of automation is missing.
I mean, like, why should I have a robot doing something if I can do it just as, better than the robot?
Because you don't have to pay the robot.
Well, you're paying like freaking like millions of dollars for a robot.
Yeah, that's one of the things holding certain industries back, as I said.
Disney's using automation too.
Yeah, but their automation is meant for entertainment, and it rarely takes. I guess it does take away some jobs, but a lot of times
they do automation with freaking AI that they can be like, hey, give me an idea for like a movie, dealing with blah blah.
Oh, you're talking about like AI, like chats and
then the automation will like actually make it.
I don't know if Disney's guilty of that. They're more guilty of continuous reboots. They don't have any original ideas.
Yeah, they suck.
I'm kidding, at least slightly. They do have some, but the reboots are kind of annoying. But that does bring me to AI, which is not true AI. It is not artificial intelligence. It's a program designed to automate thinking. Yeah, it's not officially AI. It's just it's because it's not artificial intelligence. It's just a program that automates basically thinking or drawing or whatever. Like talk about AI chatbots, mostly you ask it to give you something like write an essay or write a script for a podcast, which clearly we didn't because this is whack.
What?
There is no order to our podcast this episode. Clearly.
We didn't need one. I think this is pretty good. I actually failed a final exam because using GPT because I think the school actually is reversing the questions,
It probably, it's probably, they probably put them in a certain way that would confuse a chatbot.
Oh, wait, they can do that?
I mean, it wouldn't be hard. A lot of people have confused chatbots before. Although some people think that you can ask a chatbot if something was created by a chatbot, since each instance of a chatbot is unique, it cannot possibly know if it was created by a chatbot. It can think it is. It can say that certain things sound like something a chatbot might create, but it cannot 100% guarantee it. All right, so we have a third guest now.
Yeah, we have a third guest.
What's your talk?
How AI is taking people's jobs.
AI and automation.
You have anything to say about that? So what were you saying that you?
I was talking about AI art, like AI chatbots and AI art, and I wanted to talk about how like AI art, like it can take jobs, and it could also be beneficial for certain people. Like personally, for me with D&D, I have found like between AI generators for character creations, for like backstories and personalities, and then just like image generation for things that I would never have had images for. Like I wouldn't pay somebody to commission like the crest of the kingdom.
There's a lady that quit Disney because she was the drawer for like the older Disney movies, like Fox and Hound and stuff like that. Then she got into CGI with Tangled, but she realized it got boring because AI was doing all the work for her and she didn't want to do it anymore.
Well, CGI isn't necessarily AI.
No, but AI is actually doing that too.
I mean, they haven't quite gotten there that I'm aware of. I mean, I guess you can. Yeah, I guess you can make fake videos. So
yeah,
it would be possible to make animations out of AI generated stuff. But as I said, like I only use it for stuff that I wouldn't pay a commission for to begin with. Something that I could either live without or just download something off of Google.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
And even then, like right now, like I'm looking for maps and I'm leaning away from AI because trying to get AI to make the map I want is a pain in the ass. So I would rather use an actual map maker for more accurate maps for what I want.
I agree with you on that.
Oh yeah, well I disagree with you because I feel like a lot of people are going to have a hard time finding jobs when robots or automated systems are taking over their jobs, and then it's going to be less workers, and people are going to have a hard time finding jobs.
Well, I'm talking about specifically using AI art for only things I wouldn't have paid
it's
somebody.
It's the same concept.
That'd be like saying that you have a problem with me working on my own car because it takes away a mechanic's job.
Touche.
What's your final take?
It just depends on the business. You know, businesses need to get the money and see profits. If they wanted to get automated systems to benefit their profit, by all means, you go ahead and do it. But when you're eliminating workers, I disagree with it.
It's kind of shitty, but at the same time,
it's gonna make it harder for people to find jobs if every company does that.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, people are going to have to prepare for it in the future. The younger generation is going to have to,
especially with insurance. Like if everything like dealing with insurance is automated, that's not going to be good because you cannot. They only have 2 workers as taking the phone calls. It's not good because you're going to be on the phone for like, a long time.
Yeah, well, I don't think some jobs are going to take longer to get rid of than others. Anyways, I've been CRollur.
And I'm Willy.
And I'm also Noah.
Peace.
Peace. I actually failed my final exam one time because using ChatGPT.
What the hell is that?